So welcome back to another video here in Pennsylvania, and you'll see something unusual behind me. Snow. So this is from, well, today's January 27th. I think my most recent video I uploaded yesterday. I actually filmed that video and uploaded it the same day. That rarely happens. But that was that drive home I took. I think it was called a snowy, sloppy drive home. But this is the remnant of that snow from that day. Of course, this video is going to be uploaded by probably 3 weeks after that. But it's still out here. But yeah, it's a chilly day. We're out here in Swatara State Park again. As you can tell by the title of the video, it's time for another video in our series on following the Union Canal. Of course, we are following the branch canal once again, headed north from Union Waterworks. We're not on the main line canal. I just talked to some viewers back in the parking lot back there. They're headed to the Bordner cabin here at the park. We've been there a number of times. And then right up here is the bridge going off the left that takes you across the Swatara Creek, and that's where we ended our last Union Canal video. So in a moment I'll talk about what the plan is for today. Yeah, so right here is that bridge. Because in the previous video, you remember the canal was on the other side of the creek up here. I guess I won't walk all the way out there again, but remember the canal boats and the mules then were ferried across the creek here to this side, to the north side, and then the canal would have continued along down there. And somewhere up here, according to the map, was a ferry house where the men lived who actually would ferry the canal boats and the mules across. I saw an old map that showed that it was up here somewhere, so we're going to look for that first, I think. Because if you remember from the previous videos, remember the big dam that was up there at the other end of the park? So back behind us was all, well, not the trail here, but back that way was all underwater. It was a big lake back here, like a 400-acre lake. And the canal, in our last section, like I said, was on the other side of that lake. We followed the towpath trail for a while over there. That was pretty cool. Then they were ferried across to this side of the lake. So I think I'll pull the map out and show you what the plan is. Alright, so we are currently right up here. Right here's the bridge that goes across the creek. In the last video, we followed the canal on this side of the stream, all the way down through here. And right here is where it's ferried across. But remember, this is all a lake back here, too. Just moving a little closer here. So we're gonna, like I said, we're here. Somewhere right here, too, is the ferry house. Just back up in there. There won't be any, like a house back there anymore, but maybe some foundations we'll look for back that way. Then we're gonna follow the canal all along here to roughly here. Here's Lock 5, but Lock 5 is on the other side of the stream again, because the canal did go across again. But even down here, there's some remnants, I believe, of what looks like the towpath trail. I might show another map of that later. I'll talk more about what we'll find along here as we get there. Because most of the canal along this side is gone, destroyed. Because remember, this section of the canal stopped functioning in 1862 because of the flood. But then later, 1870s, 1880s, they built a railroad through here too. So that's what this is. This rail trail is the old railroad bed. But in some places, the railroad bed obliterated the canal. So we'll be walking along the rail trail for quite a bit. There's some sections where we'll go off the rail bed and see what we can find of the canal yet. So I'm gonna go walk back here, see if there's anything back here, like I said, of that ferry house. Not sure if I ever poked around back here before or not, but we'll see. There may be nothing left here at all anymore, but like I said, we'll take a look. And this is what I'm seeing back here. But I'm not sure how much time I'll spend looking, but it's worth a shot. It would be awesome to find at least a stone foundation back here. So there is a bit of a trail here, but to be honest, it doesn't really look like the greatest place to put a house. It's pretty steep on either side. Unless there was something up at the top. So let's go back here a little bit more. I mean, this spot here might have still been underwater. The lake coming up through here. So maybe, I think I'll just go up a little bit more. It does look like it flattens out a little bit more up here. Like I said, I'm trying to remember if I've ever explored back here or not. If there was going to be a old house back here anywhere, I feel like this would be it. Down, there's a flat area here. Like I said, it's all steep up that way, going up there and over there, but here is a nice little flat area. And there's some interesting features. Even here, there's a mound right there. Maybe with some possible stonework right in there. Possibly. Even over here is another, it's hard to tell the snow, but there's another mound right there, which parallels the one we just looked at. So this area right here is very flat. But I wonder if this is maybe the location. So once again, going anywhere else around here just goes uphill. So I get the feeling that this was, where was that maybe? I could be wrong, just kind of guessing. There's definitely, anyway, there's definitely an imprint of something right in here. Which maybe one way to find out would be to do some metal detecting. Now some people mentioned in the comments. I do have some plans to do some of that in the future on some videos. I got some permissions at some older houses. But the problem with metal detecting on public land is a lot of times you can't. Like whenever on state game lands, like when I find old villages and stuff, you can't metal detect on state game lands, at least legally. But state parks, sometimes you can get permission, so that might be an option here. They don't always want you metal detecting at established historic sites, but I don't believe this site here is an established historic site. I don't know about that. But one way to determine if there was anything here during that period would perhaps to do some metal detecting and uncover any relics from that time era. So I might look into that, see if I can get permission to do so. We'll see. But anyway, let's head back to the rail trail and see if we can start following the canal once again. If there was a ferry house back here, if there's anything left of it all, I think maybe we found it right here. I'm gonna guess that. All right, so once again, right there is where the bridge goes across the creek. And back there is where we just were looking for the old ferry house. So once again, you have to remember that this down here would have been underwater, okay? And the towpath trail would have been on the edge here somewhere, probably right around where this old railroad bed actually was. That's roughly where the towpath trail was. So there wasn't really a canal here anymore because this was a lake and a towpath trail just on the edge of the lake. So we're not really going to find remnants of a canal through here, at least at this section. We're going to make our way that way now. I think there's going to be some interesting stuff up this way at one point at least. But for a little bit we'll just be following the rail trail. As we walk along, I mean, there are some sections down here that look almost like a canal, like down through here. But I don't really see like a towpath trail on this side. Because remember, that over there would be water. So I'm not sure. This might just be from later days when they made the railroad bed. I don't know. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is a remnant of the canal. Just don't. Anyway, I'm not sure entirely. It's hard to tell sometimes because there's been so many alterations in some of these sections. Like I said, this ended in 1862, the canal, so there's a lot more went on since then that changed the land. So it's not always easy to tell what's going on sometimes. Right up here is the sand siding parking lot where I parked, but we'll continue east from there. So here's the parking lot. Oh, there's Naomi. The rail trail goes up that way, but there's a trail that goes down this way. People often use it to access the creek down here. They'll take their kayaks down here and stuff like that. But we're gonna just explore down here a little bit. The creek does a little bit of a bend here. It kind of comes down and bends away for a little bit. So there's an area of land that juts out that way. So didn't really see anything on the map that looked canalish, but sometimes you won't know until you actually just get out there and look for yourself. So let's do that. See if there's anything back here. So if we did see anything back here, it would just be like the towpath trail that's still along the edge of the lake. Because as we get further up east, the lake won't be as large anymore. It'll start to narrow out. But it would still be more like a lake than a creek, if that makes any sense. So not really looking for a canal bed, as it were. But there would still be a towpath trail on the edge. This trail cuts right through that area, so if there is anything like that down here, we should see it. And I do see a number of different mounds out there, but that's just a lot of disturbed earth from other activity. So I don't know. Anyway. I know when I was looking on the terrain feature on Google Maps, this whole area just looked very lumpy. I didn't see any like distinct like towpath trail type thing, which will be different when we get to another area down there. You can clearly see the towpath trail on the terrain images. So I don't think there's anything left down here of that. It almost looks like this was almost like a dumping ground for just dirt and stuff. Because I remember seeing this feature on the map over here. Yeah, that raised feature right there. You can see on the terrain feature on Google Maps. Maybe I'll point it out, throw a map up for you. But let's go check it out anyway. I wonder if, there's an idea in my head of what maybe it was, but I'm gonna go over there and check it out. Kind of wonder. It's definitely man-made. It's kind of long and narrow. It's all raised up. Okay, it's not what I was thinking it might be. It's just a lot of coal waste. That's what this darkish colored rock is. So it was just dumped here in a long line. You can see all the lumps and stuff out there. That's what I was talking about when I looked at the map. Just a lot of lumps out here. Alright. And right down there's the creek. So at this point I'm going to head back to the rail trail. And we're going to keep on going until we get to what I think might be the most interesting spot in this video. And if you're curious as to know what I was thinking this possibly could be, part of my mind was thinking, since like this was kind of like a lake where the canal was, maybe this was almost some kind of like a pier or something like that heading out into the lake. That crossed my mind, but it's not. So I just had to check. Alright. Like I said, let's head back to the rail trail and keep going. As we go along east on the rail trail, even down here once again, it almost looks like a canal bed down there, which like I said might be possible. Like I said, you also have the railroad bed, so it's hard to decide, it's hard to determine. Like you see the railroad bed is raised here, so this might also be an area where they dug ground out to raise the railroad bed up to its current position. It's even raised up from over there, so that's probably the more likely scenario here. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe that is the canal. It's just hard, like I said, hard to know sometimes. But they had to get the dirt to raise the rail bed from somewhere, so that might be what that ditch is too. Or maybe it is the canal. I don't have all the answers, folks, but sometimes I just do my best to guess sometimes as what's going on. So there is a little side trail. Let's just head down here. Take a look. Yeah, at this point the creek is kind of bending back our way. Let's just take a look down here. Let's turn the camera off. It's kind of slippy here. Yeah, right here's the edge of the creek. Or is this the main? Yeah, this is the. What's going on here? Hold on a second. Okay, the creek is out there. But you know, this right here, I don't know. There's maybe a little section of the. I guess anyway, I was thinking canal. I'm kind of thinking out loud again. Yeah, it's just a little island out there. That's what's going on. All right. I don't really see anything down here that screams towpath trail to me. I mean, this area right here is a little bit raised up from back here, so that's a possibility, maybe. Just a guess. Maybe we'll walk it a little bit here. See what we can find. Right up there is the rail trail. I'm still thinking this area was underwater at this point here too. So, yeah, it's kind of losing its towpath feel to me. All right, but I'm gonna, we'll just keep going this way for a little bit. We'll hook up with the rail trail again, up here a little bit. There's something interesting up this way as we head back to the rail trail. There's an old culvert up here. Old stone one right ahead. Oh, got branches. Yeah. Not like one of those modern concrete ones. Got the old stonework. You know, on a hot summer day, that might be fun to crawl through, but not today. You can see through it though. Yeah, so now the creek is flowing right next to the rail trail. So the old towpath trail was definitely right here where the modern, well, where the rail bed is now. Not necessarily a modern rail bed anymore, but. So at this point we are following the towpath trail. But just past this section, the creek is going to bend back that way again. And I think there's a pretty distinctive section up here of the towpath trail, which I have never explored before. So I'm looking forward to that, like I said. And we will see Lock 5 in this video, just won't be up close to it because it'll be on the other side of the creek. I think I mentioned that the canal actually crossed it. There was another dam up this way and they crossed the creek again, the canal. Alright, so this is where the creek bends away. You can see it going that way now. So I gotta find my way down there. Trying to find an easy way down. And then I'll try and find what it is I'm looking for out there. And I'll show you what it looks like on Google Maps then too. You can clearly see it. Alright, we have made it down. Way up there is the rail bed. Now I need to find that feature that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and toss up a Google Maps image. It's the terrain feature. And the terrain feature does just what it says. It shows you clearly like the terrain. There's hills and valleys and mountains. But you'll see I'll have an arrow pointing to what I'm trying to look for down here. Which I'm pretty sure is the towpath trail and also kind of like the edge of the lake. Like I said, I think this was still flooded down here because of the big dam further up. So the towpath trail is also like another little dam area keeping the waters over on that side instead of over here. But anyway, just a guess, I guess, in a way too. But let's see if we can find it back here. Never explored down this way either. So it looks pretty distinctive on the map, so we should be able to find it back here. So still looking for that feature. We haven't gone too far yet. Once again, the rail trail is just up there. I think we need to, should show up further down this way. The creek is going further away, bending further away that way, but from the way that map I showed you looks like, it should be something pretty significantly raised in appearance out here. You know, from the rest of the ground, it should be like a definite raised element out here. Just not seeing anything yet. I'm hoping it's not up in that thick brush. So I just checked my map. I think I am a bit too far south of where it should be. I don't like the looks of the situation up here too much with the thorns and brush, but gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. Alright, so I came back to the rail trail a bit and looking at the map, and right down there is our feature. Goes across here, but I came back to the rail trail too because there's a small creek we have to cross, which maybe I could cross without getting my feet wet, but I think I'm just going to use the rail trail to cross it. And then right there is our feature. That's the towpath trail, and also kind of a dam, I would say too. You can see it come across right there. There the creek cuts through and it starts up right there. Let's get down there. Yeah, I didn't want to. So maybe we could have crossed that without getting wet, but since we have the rail trail, let's cross here, and then we'll go down. You know, our feature just goes down along there, and right here we are. Here's our raised element. You can kind of see it over there. That kind of goes up. Let's get up here. Kind of thorny. Yes, now we're up on the towpath trail. You see how it drops off down this side. So this over here was probably underwater. Although it does look, you know, it looks a bit canalish through here though, to admit that. I get the feeling that this was all underwater. Once again, due to the big dam further up. Right here's where it would have gone across this little creek here. So that section goes up and it kind of connects with the rail trail. So there's probably some kind of a bridge or something here, an aqueduct of some kind. Well, not an aqueduct, but like something for the mules to get across here. All right, but we'll see how this goes. So I think this acted as a towpath trail and also like a dam, keep the water in over here. Because even though that does look canalish, it's quite a bit below the towpath trail. So I think there's much higher water up to about here in the past when the canal was active. So we'll see how easy this is to walk on. I did see another trail coming down that way, so we might have to take that trail. This proves to be too thorny. Ouch, which it kind of is. Yeah, very overgrown. But once again, that does look very canalish down there. That would be indeed where the boats would go. But even, like I said, the water might have been a little bit higher though, I think. And you can see there's another trail down there. We need to take it, but I think we'll just stay up here for now. I always like to, if possible, to walk along the towpath trail as much as I can. So why not? We'll brave the thorns and stuff. I feel like there should be a trail up here though. Once again, like I said in an earlier video, I feel like some of these places, like this history just cries out to be recognized and told about. What better way to do it than kind of like an interpretive trail? It has signs along the way telling you some stuff, but anyway. Here's a break in our structure. Yeah, so at some point in time, somebody busted through here, through the towpath trail here, or the little dam. There's a little trail going down here, so we'll head back up that way in a moment, but I know someone told me that there was kind of like a dock back here at some point for the town of Sudberg, which is just to the north of us. Yeah, someone made a little bridge across here. Here's the canal. And yeah, this is definitely a canal. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they might use a lot of this dirt to build up the towpath trail. I mean, like I said, maybe the water level was a little higher in the past. But yeah. That's a cool shot right there. But you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the water level wasn't up to that point. Maybe this area back here was above ground at this point, because I keep mentioning, you know, the big dam that was, you know, several miles back that way, which we filmed. Maybe by this point, the creek was in its regular banks more. Maybe this wasn't all flooded back here. I'm not sure exactly. I still feel like this would have acted like flood control to have a towpath trail that high. In case things did flood, it wouldn't flood beyond this. Anyway, just kind of thinking out loud. But this gives you an idea of just how big this hump is. Like, that's the whole towpath trail. Maybe I'll set the camera down so you can see how big it is. My point being that it's just a lot bigger than other cross sections of the towpath trail we've seen. Make me think it was used for a dam or flood control too. Alright, let's take the thorny way again. I vaguely, maybe I won't go this way. I feel like I want to cross over that way, because I remember sort of being something down here actually, I think. Okay, maybe this is a bad idea, but I vaguely remember there being some remains of a structure on this side of the canal. I think I mentioned that dock that used to be here or something, but anyway, I think it's down that way. Well, we're here to explore, so let's go do that. Just thinking which way I want to go. We'll just kind of walk in the canal for now. A little bit gushy down here. It's been years since I've been down here, so my memory's a little fuzzy. Once again, right there's the towpath trail. Like, it's quite a bit higher than the canal. I guess technically they could have used this side too, maybe, but it's a cool section to walk along. You can clearly see the canal. It's been a while since we've been able to see a section like this. And we'll leave the water behind for now, but our canal still goes up this way. Just a glance back the way we came. Once again, up there's the edge. Still haven't found that other thing I'm thinking is back here. Yeah, like my memory's a bit fuzzy. Like a little bit of concrete or something back here, right along the edge. We'll see. That could be further down elsewhere too. We're only going so far today. So I think at the beginning of this video I said I hadn't explored down this area before, but now that I'm down here, I remember that I have been down here years ago. Alright, just took a little break and now we're back to another little section that has a little bit of water in it. But once again, you can clearly see the canal going on through there. Still got that super raised element up there. That's what we were seeing like on the terrain feature. Shows up really well on Google Maps. because it's so super big. Well, maybe not super big, but you know what I'm saying. Right. Just want to slip into the water. And we'll switch it up a little bit and walk back up on top here again. Down there's our canal. And there's that other trail here. And just beyond those pine trees is the rail trail. Not too bad up here. There's almost a faint trail up here too that people are using. Oops, trip over some branches. Then right up here is the creek once again. You can see it making its way back this way. So our towpath trail will run right next to the creek. I know I keep repeating myself, I think the water level back in times of the canal was much higher than it is today, because, like I said, because of the dam that was further upstream. Just kind of makes sense. Because it looks like the canal is actually going to use the creek up here. So instead of running swiftly, because of the dam, it'd be more like slack water, I guess you could call it, up here. Because you can kind of see it just go right into the creek. And who knows, maybe there was another dam. They had dams all along this creek just to create those areas of slack water. Because if you put a dam right here, even a little one, it'll create just a higher level of what we call slack water. That'll now enable the canal boats to travel along it. Because you don't want the canal boats traveling in that swift water. That's why they built the canals. You know, some people ask, why not just use the creek? Well, you know, you don't want swift, rocky water for your canal boats. You want nice, calm, still water that would be in the canals. And this is also why I'm pretty sure this side was the towpath trail, the taller side, because if it was on the other side of the canal, like I suggested possibly earlier, there's no towpath trail in the creek anymore. So this here had to be the towpath trail. And the cool section through here, if that makes any sense. All right, we're not too far from the rail trail again. And then right up here is the rail trail, the old railroad bed again. And then right down there is the creek. See, it just kind of goes right up next to the railroad bed again. Our little raised towpath element is kind of gone here. So we'll continue on down this way a bit more, down to where Lock 5 is. But like I said, Lock 5 is on the other side of the creek. Because once again, the canal crosses over again. There's another dam up this way. Well, there was another dam up this way. So we'll get to see Lock 5 from a distance. But to get up close to it, we'll have to wait till the next video in this series. Yeah, so once again, just following the rail trail. The creek, the Tar Creek is right down below us here. So another situation where the railroad bed kind of took the place of the towpath trail here. Probably quite a bit of alterations. But we're following the general path of the towpath, and the canal would just be off to our right here. Right. Like I said, maybe this section of the canal, you actually use the creek. Like I explained earlier, maybe there's a little slack water dam down further, but I'm not sure exactly. So not too further up, we'll be able to look across the creek and see Lock 5. And that's where we'll end this video. Alright, so I do see it way out there. I'll try to zoom in through the trees and everything. Lock number 5, let's see if we can get it on camera. There it is. Should be able to see some stonework right there through the trees. That is Lock That's lock number 5, and it is in great condition. Like I said, we'll get up close to it in another video. That's on the other side of the creek currently. Yeah, so lock number 5, it's awesome. It's really, it's 100% complete, if I remember correctly. And then there was a dam there too. And this is also where the canal, once again, crossed the creek to the other side. At least for a bit. It'll cross back to the other side later on. You might ask, why does it do that? Well, they're just kind of, yeah, following the path of least resistance sometimes when they're making these canals, where it works best, engineering-wise, to put it. Sometimes that means crossing the creek, depending on what the terrain is on the other side. I didn't find that other, like I was talking about that little concrete structure I found years ago. That might be down that way yet. Maybe we'll see that in the next video. All right, but I'm making my way back. As always, folks, thanks for coming along on another little adventure and listening to me yap on and on about the canal and different things. But yeah, thanks for coming along, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.